Do you have wallpaper that you don't really know what to do with? I have this big book of wallpaper samples that I was given by our local interior design store, the same one that gave me the upholstery fabric books. And a lot of this, most of this whole book is mostly very shiny, bright, iridescent papers. And it's kind of hard to know what to use it for. I've used some here and some here to make tags, which I liked. But today I was thinking about it, and I thought I could try making some frames from it. This is one I made using this scallop set. And what I did, let me just take it out and show you what I did. There's 6 sizes in here. And I took the largest one, and I cut the outside edge. And then I went down 2 sizes and used this one and cut the inside edge, so that I have this frame shape now. And what you could do with that is, these are Tim Holtz. I think this set was Forgotten Relatives or something like that. But you could use the frame around the picture, and you wouldn't even have to cut it down. You could just add the frame over it to just kind of emphasize it on your page. And I thought this little girl also, it would work well for her. So that's one idea. Easy to do. This wallpaper that's kind of shiny is appropriate for a frame, I think. So that was that idea. And you have the piece that's in the middle left, and I have some ideas for that too. I wanted to show you some other ones that I did about frames. I used this set, which has tag shapes in it. And I was thinking about making a frame with that. I'm not sure I really like the one that I did with this, but I'll show it to you anyway because it's something interesting, I think. It's this one. I used that same paper, and I cut the outside with that shape, and then I used the next down to cut the inside. So I had this shape, and I used a different die. It has this rose on it. I used this die to cut this rose shape. And what I thought I would do is put it inside the frame, well, down a little bit because it needs to be below the hole there. So let me cut this off about that much. I'll just wait and show you what I was thinking. I'm not sold that this is the greatest idea, but it's one way to use some wallpaper and make a frame and make a tag. I just used an index card to make a back for it, and I'm going to put that down about like that and glue that down. It gives you a different look. And if you wanted to, you could make this strong enough that you could, instead of gluing it down, you could have a little place to slide something in there underneath that. I'm not going to take the time to glue this down. I think that you get the idea of that. So anyway, I had leftovers from that, from this one that I cut the inside part. I had these shapes that I had cut. I cut an extra one of these. This is the same big size. And I decided that I would decorate it with some one of these wildflower, the stem of the wildflower set. This is a border wallpaper that I bought for $1 at a thrift store one time, because back when I didn't have any wallpaper, and I was real excited to find some wallpaper, and then I couldn't figure out what to do with it. So today I saw it there. I had a piece laying there, and I thought I could cut the wildflowers. And I have this little mushroom set too, this set with the mushrooms and the ferns and things in it. So what I did is I just took the piece I had and placed the dies like there. That was the mushroom right there. You could see better if it had something different under it. Mushrooms and the fern, that's a leaf there, and the ferns on the leaves of the, picking some of the green for the ferns and this for mushrooms, just kind of trying to pick out the parts that would make pretty little pieces of the mushrooms and the ferns and put those on there. And then I did this wildflower stem on that. So that is one way to use wallpaper that you're not quite sure what to do with, like this one. I was excited to find a use for it, and I was glad I hadn't gotten rid of it, because I'd gotten some point thinking, I don't know why I'm keeping this, but I have a hard time throwing things away, and now I know why, because I found a use for it. The next one I did, I used this decal set. This is the one I did for it. I cut the wallpaper just with scissors on the outside, or in a knife. I straightened it up with a knife. And then I cut the decal shape out of the middle of it with the die. And that's when I decorated with the mushrooms and the leaves and things that I cut from this wallpaper. So that was that one. Another set I used was this label set. And I used this size label and this size, and that's this size. And I cut the label shape with the big one. And I'm going to go back in and cut the shape out of the middle of it with this. But I just realized that I have something else I wanted to show you before I did that. So let me grab my die cut machine so I can show you, and then we'll get back to the label. Most of the wallpaper I have is either from that big book that I showed you earlier, and some antique wallpaper that I have from my mother-in-law's estate that we found, and that border roll that I have. So it's kind of a mixture of various kinds of wallpaper. I'm going to cut a frame out of this, and this is using 2 die sets. This one is from this little set that my friend gave me that has various sizes for doilies. And this inside piece is from this set that I got at Walmart on the discount aisle, and it has that inside scallop piece. I'm going to run this through the machine real quick, and I have been mainly just cutting the outside piece and then cutting the inside piece. I'm going to try to do this all at one time. I hope it works, because that's kind of a lot to cut at one time. And this may shake the camera. I apologize if it does. It's going to work. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to take this off of this plate. And that little die creates a lot of this stuff. Little holes. Okay. I'm going to leave this here for a moment. I'm going back and forth, and I'm sorry about that too, but I'm going to go ahead and cut this label and make the frame for it. I don't need that one. I need this one. And I'm just trying to line it up as best I can. This wallpaper has extra design on it that's raised, and it took me several turns through the machine to get it to cut the first time. Okay. Let's see how that did. I don't know if you can see that on there or not. Maybe if I hold it up here, you can. It's got some sparkly stuff on there that's raised. It doesn't. The die has a hard time cutting through this wallpaper because it has some additional fibers in it. I think it's kind of like it's stuck right there. But anyway, there is that frame, and then you have this that you could use for a label if you wanted to. So that is that idea. And then this one that I cut from the antique wallpaper. Let's see how it did. It may need to be backed. It probably will need to be backed to something or glued down to the page. You can't really see it because it's curved. This paper has been rolled up for 50 or 60 years. Trying to straighten it out a little bit here. Okay, that didn't do a whole lot to straighten it out, but hopefully you can get the idea of what it looks like. In that you could put something, you could put whatever you want to in these frames, whatever seems appropriate to you. And you also have the bonus of having a little medallion too. If you don't have dies, you can use large punches to make shapes, and like a large square and maybe a round one, you could make a frame. Or you could use a knife and just cut a shape to make a frame, cut out the center with it. It'd probably be a lot more labor intensive than doing it with dies. But if you have the dies, it's fun to use them in a new and different way, and it was fun for me to find something to do with the wallpaper that I had, but I could not figure out what to do with it. It didn't go with anything because of the fruit design. I don't hardly ever, can't think of any time I've used fruit in those colors. So I was tickled to find this idea to cut out the mushrooms in particular. I thought they turned out really cute. And this, the wildflowers too, for that matter. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed seeing this wallpaper series today. I didn't make a bunch of things, but I made a few and had some fun with it. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. And have a great day, and we'll see you soon. And I'll put this down here before I go. Let's see, put it like that. That's just turbo tacky glue that I used, that I have in this little container. So anyway, that is my project for today, and I hope you like it. See, that would be cute to, if you had something you wanted to emphasize on this tag, you could add that to just over the top. This is not particularly conducive to that, but anyway. It's the long goodbye. But I'm gone now. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.